play. It's LSU and Texas A&M, but only one.
This is a lot of football to be played here in the month of November. But as we say around here, the games in November are the ones you remember. Our first goal is to go win an SEC championship. And that's what we're striving for.
That's why we come to Texas. As a little kid, you live to play in these type of games in this atmosphere. They're going to be loud, they're going to be rowdy, they're going to be energetic.
It's going to be a dogfight, four-quarter game.
We have to play physical and we have to execute. Trust in the culture that we've developed.
There's a standard, and that's the way we're playing it in there.
What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you? Hey, real quick, the stream is not going on your Facebook for some reason.
Yeah, I just read that.
Okay, the other three places are good. Something's going on with yours. I just wanted to run that by you if you didn't see that or not.
Yeah, I just saw it.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us on a Saturday morning. Again, another off-scheduled stream.
But appreciated stream.
Yeah.
Glad we can do it.
Yeah, and we do have a guest with us this morning here, and about 9 o'clock or so. His name is Max, and he went to high school here in East Texas at Linden Kildare. And so with that, we'll bring him on.
What's going on, Max?
Oh. Hey, Max, how are you?
Good morning, guys.
How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good.
Well, so I guess we'll just kind of get right into it, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about, we talked previously when I first kind of got with you about you didn't have a whole lot of offers. Was it going into your last football game, I think?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it just kind of blew up, man. Tell us about that. Tell us how many, scholarships you ended up with, after playing a full season and with really nothing to show for it. And then it's like the door's open.
Well, we'll go back even further. During about our bye week, we went on a visit for baseball, actually, because I figured all my life I played baseball for, I think it was like 14 total years. I always believed I was going to go play baseball in college. So I get an offer for baseball going into the bye week. And I was like, okay, well, that's kind of expected. And then I get another one right after our senior night game. So I ended up finishing with 3 baseball offers, but the offer.
Where were those two?
One of them was to Wayland Baptist over in West Texas,
and
then another one was Champion Christian up in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Okay.
And there was another one up in Missouri. So, and then school up in Indiana contacts me on the Thursday before the playoff game, and they officially offered me, and that's when the floodgates open. I mean, I would say for the next 3 or 4 weeks, I was probably on the phone every morning.
Wow.
Just talking with coaches, and I would say I would give it up to the head coach and the coaching staff that I had for junior and senior year, because, like I said, I didn't really believe football was going to be my thing. And then, junior year hits, had 136 tackles. They're like, okay, you can go play at the next level. Here's what you need to do. So sent out probably 200, 300, maybe 400 DMs, emails, all kind of things. Nothing really discouraging. But once that first one hit and they came rolling in, it all felt really worth it.
And this was all to you were sending the DMs out to the coaches and stuff, or they were?
I was.
You were. Okay.
What speaking of, you said that they said this is what you need to do. If you can speak on that, what were they saying? Was it like gain weight, or what was it that they said that you needed to do to potentially play for them?
So I wouldn't. So there was a few of the college coaches saying what I needed to do, but it was more of like, I had a great head coach. His name was Derek Farmer. So he played in college and he was at the college level coaching at one point. So he was like, "Hey, you need to get faster. We need to gain a little bit more muscle mass." And then
Muscle mass, yep.
And then he gave me this script
Mm-hmm.
of what to send, and fill in my information and send it out. And I believe that's really what helped me.
Was it at that point? Did you feel like, were you kind of thinking like, what can I do to get faster in like maybe a shorter amount of time, or was it kind of like, was that your junior year when they were kind of telling you that?
It was right at the end of my junior year, so
Okay.
I had all summer, off season, all that to get there. So,
Did you were you able to, whether it was younger in your high school career or even later, did you attend any like camps? Because it seems like that's a big thing with people, like not necessarily to get recognized, but just to get to that level of getting that your name out there in some kind of way in camps, or was it kind of just your coaches helping you more than the camps type thing?
I'd say the coaches more than the camps. I did go to some camps. Went down to one in Trinity University down in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Howard Payne was over in Hallsville.
Okay, yeah.
Going into senior year, so I went over there.
Have you always been at Linden Kildare, or have you went to other schools?
I've always been at LK. All 12 years.
I love it, man. I went to my same school since I was 5 until 18. So how was that growing up with those kids and your buddies, your friends, or your teammates, and just playing with them? I mean, that's something that I think is cool to hear stories like that, because you hear a lot of people that do bounce around, especially once they get the offers, they want to get to better schools and get more recognition. But, you decided to stay at Linden Kildare. I mean, like we were talking, you could have went to Jefferson, you could have went to Atlanta, you could have even went to Liberty Ilo and got even more recognition, but you decided to stay there. How was that process for you, or was that ever a thought to leave there?
To be honest, it really was never a thought. I mean, this is where I grew up. This is home. So
yeah, for sure.
I mean, see myself playing somewhere else.
Right. So kind of tell us about, you went to Waldorf, and what other, was that really the only school that was like, we want you, or did you have other schools? I mean, we know you can get offers, right? But was there another school outside of that was like, we want you, and you had to make that tough decision? Was it always kind of Waldorf?
So there's a couple of JUCOs that were, hounding me. They were in California. The first school I actually got offered by there was it was up in Indiana. It's called Oakland City. It really came down to Waldorf and them, because I mean, really, I was kind of waiting on fast for everything. Let's see where, and we were waiting on scholarship information, all that. Okay, where can I go and play, but also keep the best financial situation for myself once I'm out of college. And would say the night of that I got offered by Waldorf, hopped on a Zoom call with the coach that was there, and he gave out a detailed layout of, okay, this is what it's going to look like. There's some things that are subject to change, and then the other school, they're like, can't really do that right now. And I was like, well, I kind of need to know an answer, because I was pretty set on Waldorf at that point. I love the coaches. I loved the way the school looked. I mean, the money was good too. So,
what are you majoring in?
Exercise science and health promotion.
Oh wow!
But what kind of what? So what are you going to kind of do with that?
Become an athletic trainer.
Athletic trainer. Okay.
Do
Okay.
you want to do that at Linden Kildare, or do you want to stay home, come to the home groups? Are you kind of open to kind of my nephew's going to be a coach, and he went to Gilmer, and I asked him this other day because he's this coming up year he'll be done, and obviously he wants to go to Gilmer, but he said he's kind of open to starting anywhere. Is that kind of where you're at with that, or are you kind of just going to get your name out there in the beginning to kind of get yourself in a good position to start somewhere?
I'd say more of like I'm open to really anywhere. I've kind of looked into like the outskirts of like Nashville, that area. Like really love,
Oh wow. Okay.
really love that area. I mean, really wherever I can get an opportunity to go and come work is what I'm going to do. So,
Right.
So Waldorf is in Tennessee.
no, it's in Iowa.
Iowa. Wow.
Now,
How was
you said that you got hurt this year, correct?
Yes.
What
Yeah.
what kind of take us through that? Like what happened? What's the recovery been like?
So we kind of got rolled up during football. I already had previous injuries with it. Last year, I had surgery as well right after football. I had a twin labrum. So it's kind of like we went through rehab and everything, but kind of got rolled up on a tackle, and I was in the weight room kind of doing my rehab stuff because it was hurting me, and I slipped out the back. Shoulder slipped out the back, went back in, which is where I had the surgery. So we're kind of worried about that, and still haven't gotten a full answer. We're going back to the doctor for an MRI next week. And just kind of wait and see what happens at that point.
So in your freshman year, you never really had the chance to play. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, I got hurt week 1. So.
Wow.
What was what's been the biggest difference between Linden Kildare and Waldorf as far as the football side of things? Not necessarily the schooling, but just the athletic side.
Definitely, I'd say the practices. They're a lot more detailed.
I guess.
Definitely a lot more asked for. I was gonna say really facilities, but facilities are kind of the same because we have a nice weight room that we got 2 years ago here at the high school. So our locker room is decent. So it's really facilities are really the same, but I'd say that the practices are a lot more detailed.
Just more intense, probably more accountability. I guess is really what you would say. Go ahead.
Going back to the injury, what kind of it's football. Injuries are going to happen. It's the game. It's a contact sport. But what kind of mental toll did that take on you? Freshman year, week 1, you're injured and you didn't get to play all season. What adversity did you really learn from that? Like maybe growing as a person, as a man, as a football player, like mentally, through that injury, and you're still going through it.
So I'd say really last year is kind of when that mental toll was taken because got hurt, found out middle of the year that I was going to have surgery. So we're going to wait until the end of the year, have surgery. And after that first offer came in and I was on the phone with some other coaches, I was really thinking, okay, are we going, like, how's this going to affect everything, right? Like, I had surgery, some schools will immediately pull their offers, they'll do this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what I was worried about, and luckily
they stuck with you.
Happened. Right, so, but it definitely played a toll on my mentality, but I was able to bounce back really easily. But during college, I'd say it's definitely rougher because you're kind of up there by yourself. Here, I had family, I had friends I've known for 10 plus years, right? So there, it was just kind of like you felt alone for a little bit. But I had some great friends up there that we kind of, one of my buddies was going through the same thing. He tore his labrum, had to have surgery, had it last week. So, I kind of put myself around people that were going through the same things and just kind of grinded through it.
Being a freshman coming in, were you expected some field time or was it, obviously a lot a lot of these, especially these ones coming from small towns, they got to work really hard to even get some playing time. Just because, I mean, you're just a smaller school, right? But obviously, you're very well enough to play. I mean, the numbers above speak for themselves. I mean, but were you expected to contribute on the field instantly, and during that process, were you able to, be around the team and really just kind of help, other people in your position, even though you're a freshman, just contribute that way?
So we weren't. So whenever we first had our meeting with the head coach for orientation, everything, he goes, "Be straight up with you. No freshman that we're bringing in is going to play right away. Like they don't have a starting spot or anything. You have to earn it," which I expected anyways. We had a senior and junior middle linebacker duo, 2 juniors and sophomore on the outside. So was never expecting anything. Whenever I got hurt, me and my buddy kind of got hurt around the same time. So we kind of got put into the role of, we were kind of over the film. So we'd fly drones and stuff for the film.
Oh,
or
nice.
We'd go up to the press box and kind of film, depending on how the wind was that day. So, I mean, in a sense, we got to help the team because we,
Oh yeah,
get that film out for them. But it's definitely different than actually being on the field.
oh yeah. I mean, I can imagine. I mean, we've had another kid that was on, and he kind of went through the same thing, and injury he's still dealing with to this day. And I think it's awesome because I feel like in a way you're like freshman year, you get hurt before you even, like I said, really in high school, and you're just, it's kind of a bummer coming into college and you're hurt, and it's awesome to see people not give up so fast because of an injury, especially as a freshman going in and not having to deal with all that and not really giving up on it. I mean, that shows character, it shows commitment, and that's awesome that you're still going to keep pushing, because I think that from what I hear about you and everything, that you can do very well at the next level.
Just curious, how was the team's season? I mean, what how are they? Obviously, I've never heard of them being like a smaller school in Iowa. I keep up with a lot of the Texas schools, but I mean, just overall, what kind of program is that?
I mean, we're a good program. We had a rough year because we last year we were in the easiest conference of the NAI, and then we made them move to the hardest conference. So we did go. I mean, we went 0-11, played maybe 2 or 3 close games, kind of got blown out in the rest. But I think 6 of the 11 teams at the time that we played them were ranked in the top 25 in the nation.
Oh wow!
So it was definitely, let's say, an eye-opening experience, and kind of showing.
Will y'all go back to the other division? Do y'all flip divisions every year, or how does
No,
that
so
work?
this was a permanent move.
Oh, okay.
So kind of give us an first year. This is what's going to be expected of you. So
Right, now you've seen the competition you're fixing to go against, so now y'all can kind of raise the bar.
yeah,
Maybe the practices are going to get a little bit more intense. The weight room stuff's going to get a little bit more intense, which is, I mean, just listening to you, kind of something you're excited about anyway.
Derek, this reminds me, him talking about them, and I brought this to up last night. It reminds me of Kennesaw State, making that big change.
Making that big jump.
They went from Division II to Division I, and they didn't have the best year in football, but they beat a good team. So, I think that's always good. You see those schools make that jump because, I mean, yeah, it's going to be a rough first year, going from playing division or in y'all's different conferences and just changing that. I think that does raise the level for you and your teammates to get better. Obviously, it's a grind.
Do y'all play any Texas teams? I don't know if there's any NIAs here or not.
there's a good amount here in Texas, but no, we don't play any. I'd say the furthest we go out is I think it's Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
What so when you first, how was that transition from Linden Kildare to Waldorf, like the move, Was it a little bit of excitement? Was a little bit of nervousness? I mean, you're completely moving all the way up there. Kind of, how was that for you in the beginning? What, did you ever get to take a visit there? All that stuff, or was it kind of like offer, and then after senior year, you move up there in the off season?
So during the summer we went up for orientation, so I kind of saw it. But before we moved, I was definitely like nervous. Like, okay, completely going 15 hours away. It's definitely gonna be different seasons and everything. But the town really is very similar to here. We have 1,800 people. They have 1,400 people. So it's
wow.
So it's
yeah,
a little smaller than Linden Kildare.
it's just a little smaller. Yeah, so it's like a small town.
Well,
Eventually,
that would be for me. That would be a good thing because
it definitely was.
Going from like Linden Kildare to say like Austin. If you went to just say Texas, that's a major change in population.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So yeah, I think that would be, especially going that far away. I don't think you could ask for a better situation, really.
Is that another? Was that another? I guess key thing for you is kind of going to even a smaller town and being able to play college, or compared to the other offer that or the other school that was really considering you, was they about the same size as Waldorf, or were they a little bit bigger?
I'd say they were a little bit bigger. They were probably more of kind of like a Marshall size.
Oh, okay.
So still
smallish.
Yeah, a little bit good amount more than here, but it's still, not the Austins, the Dallas, Houston. So
Right.
really, that didn't play too much of an effect on where I was going to go. Where Waldorf, I kind of talked to every single coach at one point. Like, it wasn't just I was only talking to one guy where the squad was. So I had conversations with the head coach, even the offensive coordinator at one point.
Are you going to play in the offense?
No, I'm just going to be strictly defense.
Strictly defense?
So I kind of talked to offensive coordinator and the receivers coach, because the guy that was recruiting me, he ended up leaving for a better job to go become a defensive coordinator somewhere. So they were kind of, like, hey, we still want you. Just kind of keep in touch until they found that next guy to take over his spot.
Okay.
Sorry, my notifications are going off. What are you at Waldorf? Are you playing any linebacker position, or are you strictly going to play the Mike linebacker?
Really, right now it's any. He told me, he goes, I'm not too sure where we're going to put you yet, because we only had like 2-3 weeks of practice.
Right.
So, really, it's going to come down to the summer and next fall, of maybe the spring, of what that's going to be.
Are you? Is that make you nervous, or because I mean, it sounds like at Linden Kildare you were middle linebacker. Are you good? I mean, obviously, I think you're good with that, but do you want to play any of them, or you kind of have one out of the three to kind of, if you had to choose, would you choose one, or you're just like, I don't care, I just want to play?
I mean, right now I'd probably say one of the outside linebacker positions, because that's where I was for most of the time. But throughout the weeks of practice that I was able to practice, I was kind of like throwing around in all the positions, just because he wasn't too sure. So I kind of had to learn everything, like all four positions with the defense, because we ran a 3-4. So I had to kind of learn all four linebacker positions with defensive coverages and everything like that. So really, I mean, if they threw me in at middle linebacker, if they threw me in at outside linebacker, I kind of know what to do.
What kind of defense did y'all play at Linden and Kildare? I mean, was it 3-4, 4-3?
My senior year, we ran a 3-4.
Okay, so you were pretty already accustomed to that type of defense.
It was just more of a lot more added on coverages that I kind of had to learn. So.
Do you like playing, like, do you like covering down on those tight ends or receivers, or you just like hitting the running backs or whatever it might be? I mean, kind of what's your play style?
So the outside linebacker position I was playing, it was we called it bandit, so we were on the boundary side of the field. So we were more most of the time. We're kind of okay if there's a tight end now. We're going to jam them on the line and kind of read what's going to happen. So we were more of, I would say, kind of turned more into a defensive end in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kind of like a Micah Parsons type player.
Yeah.
I was going to say Parsons or like a Khalil Mack, something like that.
Yeah. So
they're not as good as you, of course, but they remind me of you, not you remind me of them. We'll put it that way.
So then we had, and then we just kind of either dropping, flats or hook curl.
Mm-hmm.
So really it was pretty simple, but I mean, obviously hitting the running back is fun, but
yeah.
That A-gap meeting, you like them A-gap meetings, huh?
Getting that first pick senior year was definitely one of the highlights of my career, though.
Yeah,
really.
Definitely.
Kind of speak on that. I mean, did you take it all the way or no?
No, I didn't get to. So it was actually our homecoming game. So
it was packed then.
I think the most people we've ever had at the stadium on our side was there.
Wow.
The funny thing was, it was a little running back screen. I read it perfectly, and my mind was, I'm gonna go blow the running back up, cause a fumble, something. I had no intention of picking the ball off because I was 10 yards away from him. Quarterback overthrew him, and it hit his hands, and next thing I know, it's sitting right there in my hands. So I take off with it, and then a kid come and grab me by my back, roughly like 15 yards down the field.
Oh man!
So
that's still awesome, man. I mean, it's a rarity to see linebackers. I mean, it happens, but obviously it's more in the secondary. But what would you say? I asked this to everybody we have on. What would you say was your biggest accomplishment in high school outside of football?
I'd say probably finishing with a 4.1 GPA.
Wow,
nice.
That's impressive.
Nice, dude, that's been the kind of theme of this whole thing is like last night with Cam, graduating early, like 4.1 GPA. Somebody else, Jackson could have graduated early, but he doesn't want to, and so it just really goes to show that the kids have their heads on correctly. You know what I mean? Like they know that the books are there, and the football, while it's fun and it's going to get us to that next level, but there's things outside of football, and I love the fact that all these kids are grade oriented, studying, hitting the book, like Seth. I mean, Princeton and Yale were coming for him, so I mean that just goes to show that y'all have y'all's heads on right, and that's awesome. So is there anything that maybe we're missing, like something that we haven't talked about that you need, you want to talk about that maybe we haven't asked?
Not really. No, you kind of hit everything.
That's what we always just ask, kind of getting kind of close here to wrapping up. We always end with two questions.
I already know it.
That's my thing. I got to end with two questions. Heisman Trophy winner, who's getting it?
I got to give it to Ashton Genty.
All right, let's go.
I like it. We're all on the same page with that. And kind of the last big question to wrap it up. Who's winning the national championship?
I gotta go with Texas.
Let's go!
I'm a big Texas guy.
Derek, I'm 4 and you're 1. Let's go.
I'm fixing to start getting kids outside of the state of Texas. I'm so sick of hearing.
Hey, we do have some. We
do have some coming on, but it's not enough. I'm gonna get kids from like Oregon and Bama and stuff like. Golly.
What? So speaking of Texas, I mean, is that like your favorite college team, or is it just a Texas thing?
Oh, it's definitely my favorite college team.
Let's go. Derek, dude.
Football, baseball.
I'm fixing to start doing a lot of vetting before I bring people on here. It's getting ridiculous on this show. I know that.
What? So speaking of I'm going to go defensive side for Texas. Who's one of your favorite Texas defensive players that they have on their team?
Colin Simmons.
I love him.
He's a monster. I
love Colin Simmons. I love Anthony Hill Jr. at the linebacker, and I love Michael Taft because he was a walk-on and he's phenomenal.
His story is amazing. I would definitely say last year had to be was it DeAndre Sweat?
Yeah, the defensive tackle. Yeah. Speaking of that, my nephew, they were down. I can't remember where they were at, They were on the beach. Him and my wife's dad had to pull him out the sand. He got stuck in a side by side. They took pictures with him. It was the coolest thing. When they sent me the picture, and I was like, "Who is that?" And they were like, "You don't know who that is?" I said, "No." They said the DeAndre Sweat from Texas, a defensive tackle. We just pulled him out the sand. He got stuck. I said, "Are you kidding me?" It was one of the coolest things ever because I'd watched him and stuff, but I just didn't recognize him outside of the football uniform. I thought that was pretty cool. Texas, I love it, man. Derek, I think it's time for you to take that Aggie sweater off and go ahead and put that burnt orange on.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'll be the odd one out.
I'll definitely be watching the game at 3:00 today.
So I'll ask this question, Derek. I'll make this a little better. See what he picks here. If Texas wasn't winning it, who wins it?
Ooh. I mean, Oregon has a good shot. I mean, there.
See, that lets me know right there he's not sold on the Texas pick. Because if you ask me if A&M's not winning it, who's winning it? I'm gonna say I don't know. A&M's winning it, so I wouldn't know. So that lets me he's not sold on the Texas. He picked a homer. That was a homer pick.
Once Oregon picked up their passing, I mean,
yeah, Oregon is solid. I will agree.
Does Oregon beat Penn State today?
They should. They should.
Oh, so he's not sold on that either. He's not sold on them.
I mean, crazy things can happen in college football on Saturdays, especially conference championship weekend. But
yes, it is.
Do you think, from your opinion, this is one of the best college seasons ever?
Definitely one of the most unique. Because I mean,
good choice. I like that, unique.
Because you look in the SEC, I mean, there's 3 teams with 3 losses trying to see, okay, who's going to get that final spot.
Yep.
Because I mean, everybody's just been beating up on everybody. So it
out of those 3, if you had to pick one, who gets in, depending on let's just aside of what happens today, which team of those 3
who gets the 12th spot?
South Carolina.
Let's go! Yes,
that's what we think as well.
They're definitely hot right now.
They're hot, man. That quarterback and that defensive end for them are so good.
What would be would be amazing to watch was if they had an NIT tournament.
Yeah,
that
would be fun.
If they had that, I would pick. Well, obviously, I would have Miami up there in one of the spots. I don't know what happens with anything, but I would have. I mean, I saw a post on that on Facebook yesterday, and I think that in the future they should do something like that, kind of like what they do with basketball. Because I mean, bowl games are great, right? Bowl games are great, but it'd be nice to have something like that to give another team a chance to win a championship of some kind outside of just a bowl game or something like that. So,
or even if you have, say there's 2 teams or 1 or 2 teams in that top 12 that don't get into the college football playoff, have them play each other, in a bowl game. But have it for
like a play-in game.
Yeah.
I would love like a Bama South Carolina play-in game for the 12th spot. Do it the same. Hey, do it the same week Army Navy. Last 2 games of the season.
I love that because that's like the only game of that week.
That's the only game next week.
Wow, I've never thought of that, Derek. That's actually we're calling ESPN and we're going to pitch that to them.
They're watching it, so they're going to.
Oh yeah,
watch College Game Day. They're going to say what we're talking about. But well, yeah, man, we appreciate you coming on, Mac. I mean, I appreciate you reaching out to me, man, for following the page and commenting and messaging me. I'm glad we got to hear your story, especially being a local kid. Like I said, I'm in Diana. He's in Union Grove now, but from Union Hill. So we love covering this. And this is something we weren't even going to kind of go this route about 2 weeks ago. We were just strictly college and pro and 2 shows a week. And now we're 2 shows on Saturday and a Friday show. And I mean, it's been amazing. It's been a fun little ride that we've kind of got on. And like I said, we appreciate you coming on. We're definitely going to keep up with you. I write down all the schools of all these kids. And then come the next football season, I'm going to check stats. And if I'm not seeing 15, 20 tackles a game, I might have to come to Iowa and be like, hey, we need to pick it up, brother.
Yeah, man, we'll keep up with you. I added you on Facebook. We messaged a little bit last night. So, yeah, man, if you want, man, shoot me your number, and we'll keep up with you, and we'll holler at you from time to time. And we'll have you back on maybe after next season, kind of see how are you going to redshirt? Can you redshirt NIA or no?
Yeah, and so this year would be my redshirt year.
Nice. So you still have 4 years left.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man, we'll reach back out to you and check up on you. Maybe, at some point, obviously during the football season, we don't want to bother you too much. You're going to have a lot going on, but maybe next year after the season or off season, we'll reach out and we'll have you back on and kind of see how your next year went.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
Hey,
Yes,
man,
sir.
thanks
Thank
for
you, buddy.
joining us, man. We'll holler at you later.
Another good kid. 4.1. 4.1. I don't think you could add both of ours together and it would have been a 4.1.
Yeah, I didn't care about school.
I
I'm just
didn't.
being real. I slept every day.
I tell people this all the time. My best year was my senior year because I wanted to make sure I was getting out. Like I didn't want there to be no question that I wasn't getting out of there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I tell you what. I mean, college was never on my mind. I was always like, I'm going to work. I was working at 15, so it was
I went
always
a semester and then was like, Actually, I went a semester, met my wife, and then I was like, well, let's just work. And
the closest I ever got to college was I actually went to the college over in Mount Pleasant. I went to what is that school called?
NCCC.
With a buddy. I went to a class with
Yeah.
him. I snuck in. That was like my closest thing to college. So, we got one more guest on. He's from Tyler. His name is Simeon Garner. He's committed to play at Texas State. And so with that being said, I made him a little intro. I've been doing this for some that I can get to. So I'm going to play a little intro for him and then we'll get him in here.
That's what you play college football for. That's why you come to Texas State.
Turn me up a little bit more, man.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Good. How are y'all?
Man,
good.
How are you, man? Thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you for having me on.
For sure, man.
So you're our second Texas State guy, and I think we're in talks with like 2 or 3 more Texas State guys coming on from around here. I told Dustin this the other day. So I'm an Aggie fan. So I think my new team is the Texas State Aggies because I, as much as we get y'all guys on, but we're gonna have to come watch some games. We're gonna have to make our way down there to San Marcos. And but yeah, dude, it's a pleasure having you on.
Yes.
Tell us.
I actually used to be an A&M fan as well. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just jump right into who do you go for? I mean, obviously Texas State, but who's your team now?
Texas State, but now probably still A&M. Probably.
Okay. Derek,
you got to say that because
Derek has a win.
Yeah, I needed that, man. I needed that.
Yeah.
So Tyler Legacy that's Tyler Lee, right? That's the old Tyler Lee.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I got that right.
Yes, sir.
But so yeah, go ahead, Dustin.
Yeah. So Simeon, for one, thank you for reaching back out to me on Twitter, and then we've been texting quite a bit. Kind of talk us about your journey through high school. I know you went to Grace Community as well. Kind of talk us through that a little bit, and kind of what your kind of how you your high school career ran. I know your
quick plug. You went to Grace Community. My freshman year of college was Grace Community's first year of football. I coached the receivers while I was a freshman in college at Grace Community. Their first year. Yes.
You used to be a coach at Grace?
Well, I was still in college, and the head coach at the time, his name was Truman. And he knew my dad, and he was like, "Hey, would Derek want to come coach the semester days at college?" He was like, "Yeah." So I came and actually coached for a semester at Grace, and it was pretty fun. I mean, it was cool. Like they're big now. I mean, they didn't have a field, they didn't have bleachers, they didn't have nothing when I was there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's pretty neat that you were there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was a great. I really loved it there. I was there since 2nd grade. And, I started playing football in around 7th grade, and I got to 2nd grade. So I was pretty sure I said that. So I started playing tackle football around 7th grade. And, it wasn't my number one to start out with. It was baseball. Baseball was like where I really wanted to go do something with.
Wow.
And so, yeah, so I got to freshman year, and, I started a couple games on varsity. But, it was still baseball. Baseball was still my number one. I got to around sophomore year, and I kind of blew up, started making a lot of plays, played every game, and so I fell in love with the game. And so I had to make a decision on whether to stay there or transfer to a bigger school with more exposure.
Mm-hmm.
And so I made a decision to transfer to Legacy, mostly because of that. And there's just more opportunities there as well, academically and stuff. And so transferred over to Legacy and get to the first game junior year. I worked hard that junior off season, worked very hard. I was about to have a great year. And get to the first game, Lufkin. I'm playing pretty good. I have about 10 tackles in the first 2 quarters.
Wow.
And so I get to the third, and it was actually the second play of the third. It was a pass play, and I'm what you call pass rushing,
Mm-hmm.
and I step wrong, and my knee just dislocates.
Oh,
And I thought I would be only out for I don't know how long. Usually, I don't know how long. It's 5 weeks or something. But ended up tearing something in there, so I had to have surgery, and I was out for the season. And so that was pretty tough, especially because I just transferred in, first game on the 6A level. But I had to work hard to get back to rehab, and I got to senior year, and I was still balled out. So got everything.
Now is 152? Is this senior stats or both stats?
Oh no,
Well,
both.
I guess it would kind of have to be senior because you only
Yeah,
played what
right.
so 140 tackles in your senior year as a DT.
Well, no, my sophomore year I had 69, something like
that was at Grace, right?
That was
Yes,
at
sir.
Grace. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
I'm with
Yeah.
you. Still great. I mean, regardless, because you're missing a year anyway because of the injury.
Yes, sir.
What was the biggest? I'm kind of glad that you went to 2 schools so we can kind of ask this.
Mhm.
But what was the biggest difference between Grace High School varsity and Legacy? I mean, obviously I know that's a massive jump, private and 6A, but
Mhm.
I mean, what was the biggest difference?
I would say the seriousness, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
They take it way
competitiveness.
more serious on the 6A level,
Yeah,
especially Tyler. It's that's the biggest school in Tyler.
yeah.
So all the media is surrounded around that and everything. So it's kind of just getting used to that.
Was it kind of like a college vibe in a way? The way the
A-
media,
A
the
little bit, yeah. We had media days and all that, and so I
really.
just got
Wow,
used to that at Grace. So
that's
So
crazy.
when it
yeah.
comes to Tyler, obviously there's 2 schools there.
Mhm.
Is it still called John Tyler, or is it called something? Is it called
It's called Tyler High.
That's
Tyler
Tyler
High?
High. Yeah.
Was there ever a Tyler High or Legacy, or was it always Legacy?
Like
No,
you
it
mean
was. Oh,
together?
it's about for him.
Going there. Did you ever have the chance to go to the other one, or was it always just Legacy for you?
Oh, nah. It was always just Legacy. My dad my dad and my mom graduated from John Tyler,
Okay.
and my dad actually played quarterback there.
Oh,
and all that.
did he
Really?
play at Did he play at the next level?
No, sir, he didn't.
Okay.
What year did he go there?
I think it was 83 or something like that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if he was on that '94 team. I was gonna say, hey, we had
Yeah.
talked. That '94 team was nuts.
Yes, sir. But yeah, they graduated there. But I think it was just where we lived at, kind of.
The
Gotcha.
district.
The
Yeah.
district, yeah. So kind of talk us through when the recruited started. When did you really start getting some, whether it was offers or just looked at? Kind of when did that start for you?
Mm-hmm. So when I was at Grace, there wasn't a lot of exposure at all, right? I got first team all district, first team all state as a sophomore, and I didn't have any coaches, texting me or anything. And so that's kind of when I kind of decided to make the decision. And so actually when it really started going was after that game, after the junior season game, when I had only 10 tackles and got hurt. Because we had another guy named Travis Jackson. He went to TCU, And so they had a TCU coach there watching me and stuff, or watching him, but they saw me on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he hit me up after, like, hey, like, why didn't you finish the game? You were playing real good, all this stuff. And so, it kind of all started off of there. From there, I got some visits from Texas State, game day visits from Texas State. I got a couple, like, just game day visits in general from everywhere. I even went to West Texas. We flew to West Texas one time.
Oh, that's such a man. The
yes.
West Texas is different, man.
Yeah.
Wow. So y'all flew. Oh yeah, you got to fly out there. That's a lot of driving.
Yeah.
Are you going to be a DT at North Texas? I mean, at Texas State? Or what are they telling you?
Yeah, so actually they said, Coach Kenny told me, he said that he doesn't know for sure whether I'm gonna eat myself into a 3-tech or stay in the outside on the end.
On the end, you look like an end. That's what I was. That's what I was thinking. Like a D end,
yes,
like
sir.
I'm gonna tell you who you look like. Just off your picture up here, Jason Pierre-Paul, the old New York Giants, just long armed, kind of the thinner body than you think of a D lineman, and with long arms. That's what I think when I look at your picture. Are you fast? I mean, are you fast or quick or?
Yes, sir, for sure.
For a defensive lineman or just in general?
For a defensive lineman, but I say in general as well. Like, especially because, like, after the injury, like, it took me a little bit to, like, get all the way back.
Right.
So I had to kind of had to play with not 100% all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Practice every day as well. That can wear you down. So I definitely had to still had to get some rehab during the season. But yeah, I think I'm pretty fast for my position.
But let's kind of go back to the injury. Every person we've had on, it seems like they've had some kind of major injury.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of talk us through that. What was your mental toll? How did it help you grow in a sense? Because at that point, like you said, moving to Tyler Legacy, you get injured pretty early in your high school career there. Kind of, what was it? Were you able to you obviously had to take a step back, but were you involved like with these other defensive ends, like really just helping them and stuff and staying engaged the whole time? Because when you get injured like that, and obviously at this point, you even though you got injured in that game, you had a TCU coach come up to you and wanted to talk with you. Kind of, what was your mindset kind of getting hurt and then not knowing what was in your future?
Well, so I got hurt, and then it sucked. I'm not gonna lie, it sucked. I worked very hard for that season, but mentally I think I was strong. I didn't really fold. I still went to every workout. I still went to every film session, everything. I still went to practice. I wanted to be there around everyone, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And being there around everyone kind of it took the toll off of my mental side.
But you kind of felt like you were still involved. I mean, even though you weren't there on Friday nights, you were in every other aspect of it.
Yes.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And it's also like I came into a new school. I didn't really know the plays like that. And so getting hurt I don't want to say this, but it kind of helped me mentally with the plays. You know what I'm saying?
More time studying the books and everything else.
So I had to learn all that. And so actually having Travis there, the TCU guy, like, he helped me a lot. He encouraged me, you'll be all right and all this stuff.
Was he a defensive guy too, or?
Yes, sir. He was a defensive end. He
was. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Now when you transferred, were you an immediate starter, or was it something that you were like in a position battle with somebody else, or how did that work coming in?
Well, before I transferred, I went to their spring practice. Met all the coaches and everything.
Oh, okay.
And so I got to see like who's in the depth chart and all that. And
so they knew you were coming. This wasn't a first day of school you show up.
Oh no. They knew I was coming. And I actually made the decision to stay at Grace. And then the D-line coach at Legacy called my dad and was like, "Hey, like, we got to get him here." Like, so, we rethought the decision, and so yeah. But
any word? I hate asking this, but it's I think it's a good question.
Mhm.
Any word from the coaches at Texas State about playing time? As a freshman.
Not I mean, they just told me to come in with my head down, just work hard
And work
and
hard. Yeah.
see what happens.
And it seems like you're already that's there. Your work
Yes, sir.
ethic speaks for itself.
Mhm.
So kind of with the Texas State, how is that relationship with GJ? I mean, I'm assuming you've had quite a bit of time speaking with him and
Mhm.
possibly the defense end coach or defensive coordinator. Kind of what's that been like for you?
Oh, the connection is great. GJ came from Gilmer, played
Yep,
at
Mhm.
Gilmer,
Gilmer.
and
Mhm.
so that was already a connection there. But actually, I think it was like his uncle or something. His uncle and my dad are like pretty good friends.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, so if you hear in the press conference, he's like, our family knows each other, like our family.
Yes, he said that. He
Yeah.
Yes,
did
he
say
did.
that.
So our families do know each other pretty well. But also the D-line coach, he actually coached at JT or Tyler High
Okay.
Mm.
a while back. And so, he knows about East Texas as well. So I just think that was all connection there. So it was just great.
Was Texas State the only school really that looked at you, or did you have other schools looking as well?
No, I had so about home was a homecoming game senior year. That's when I got my first D1 offer. It was Rice. And
Oh wow.
yeah, and actually, it was right before the game. Like right before the game, they called me, and
Wow.
I committed on the spot because I didn't.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
Well, you didn't want to miss the opportunity.
exactly. I didn't. With everything going on, like you never know. And then actually, what happened was that head coach got fired. So, you know, and so after that, after the head coach got fired from Rice, that's when Texas State that's when Coach Kenny started texting me and stuff, and he got on a call. And then I also got one from Sam Houston. They kind of called me kind of out of the blue and, offer me. And so that was kind of the three that had to pick from. But
What made you pick Texas State? Like what was that defining moment where you were like, this is it?
mhm. Well, the campus is beautiful, but also Coach Kenny being there for signing that contract.
That's exactly what I
Being
was
there for
thinking.
Yes, that really did it for me because I knew he was gonna be there, all the way up until I leave.
Right.
So I wanted to have that. And, especially after Rice's head coach gets fired, there's a new coach coming in. I was like, man, I don't know if I want to do that. I want to go into a program that's already going like this. Right.
Yes, they are.
And
Yes, they are.
yes. And so
Because going to Rice would almost be like a rebuild. So you could look at 2 years of a team rebuilding. So
Mhm.
you look at it as I only have really 2 years
yes, sir.
2 years with this group because
Of
obviously
competing, yeah.
of competing. But yeah, we
Yes.
love GJ Kenny. Hey, I'm gonna throw this at you. I haven't thrown this at the other Texas State guy.
Mhm.
I need me some GJ. I need 5 minutes of GJ Kenny on here. I need you to help us out with that.
Yeah.
I have been
I
trying to.
emailed the school to try to get a hold of it. I
Really?
mean that yes, I did. Yes,
like
sir.
we like I feel like if he knew somebody in East Texas was not only just doing a podcast and
Mhm.
getting his players on, I have a feeling knowing him and how he just is. I
Yeah.
feel like I would hope we would get 5 minutes with him. So I
I
need
think
you to
I
work on
really
that.
I do think he would do that. I'm not gonna lie, because
I do.
Man,
he's really cool. Like he would do that, but he's a really busy guy as
Oh,
well.
I know he's. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
he's
absolutely.
24/7, 365 days a year. He's doing
Yeah.
something,
You know,
and not only that, he has a family. So I get it.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I was going to reach out to him on Twitter, and I went to his profile, and I couldn't message him. I was like, "Come on, like, let me just get." I just want to send him a message. I don't even care if he reads it. I just want to be like, "Hey, I messaged Coach Kenny."
Yeah.
you were just talking about how the trajectory of Texas State was going up, and
Mhm.
it is.
Yeah.
I look back at the early late 90s, early 2000-ish
Mhm.
Texas teams. Why were they so good? 90% of their roster was Texas kids.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
Texas State is grabbing these Texas kids
Mhm.
because, like you said, Kenny's from here. He
Mhm.
knows the talent in the area. He knows how to get them. And like I said, we've got with you and we've got 5 or 6 kids that are Texas State commits. that are from around this area. So I think that is really great for them. I would not be surprised if in 2-ish, maybe 3 years, we're not talking Texas State playoffs, Texas State major bowl games. I'm like you. I really like the trajectory of this team. And they bring back a good bit of people. I kind of looked at the roster. Not a lot of senior starters, should I say, on the team, which is good. Because run it back, and now you're learning, and you're coming in your freshman year. You're learning from them guys that have been starting, 2, possibly 3 years. So that's exciting, man. That's awesome.
I ask this to everybody. Outside of the game of football, and all moving from Grace and going to Legacy, what would you say would be your biggest accomplishment in your high school tenure?
That's a good question.
That's why I ask everybody. I got to make y'all think a little bit. I know it's a little early, but I'm gonna make you think a little bit.
I'd say just the dedication that I've had. Just all the what's the word I'm looking for? All the setbacks and everything that really helped me in my faith and everything. So I'd say just my dedication to working hard and getting what I really wanted was my dream. You know what I'm saying? So that's
in football, besides playing the defensive end, did you ever have an opportunity or another chance where you wanted to play another position, whether it was offense or defense?
At Grace, my sophomore year, I was playing tight end. And so I ever since I was little, I wanted to be a tight end. I was watching Jason Witten and all that.
Oh yeah.
I would always want to be, because I'm a Cowboys fan as well. But
okay,
yeah, us too.
I want to be like a Jason Witten guy. So
I know it's hard to say that out loud right now, but it's okay.
I know it's pretty tough.
Hey, if they had a guy named Simeon Garner over there on the other side of Micah Parsons, I bet they'd be all right on defense.
No, it might be. They might stop somebody. Unless they threw it, then we'd be in trouble. So kind of piggybacking off of Dustin, I always kind of ask this question to follow up this question. Who's your Heisman Trophy winner?
Travis Hunter.
Oh,
there we go. Travis.
No. I enjoyed this interview, but so I won't get on the spill. But I think it's got to be Genty. That's the consensus for us too is Genty.
Travis is just good on both sides of the ball, though, man.
Do I ask the question?
Listen, this is okay.
What is he the best at in the nation? You're already thinking too long. That's my point. That's my point. And I'll back this up. He's the best at snaps, but snaps aren't a stat.
Okay.
He's the best at snaps, but that's not a stat. I'm sorry.
I think if I had to pick one, if I was him, I think he is good on both sides of the ball. Like
he's an amazing athlete.
He's insane. But I think if I were him, I want to play receiver at the next level. I think he is a better receiver.
Yeah.
Now I'm not.
He reminds me of Devontae Smith.
He does.
Tall, not big bodied. That's who he is.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying he can't play cornerback in the NFL, but I've watched him for 2 years now. I didn't watch him at Jackson State at all. Obviously he's with Coach Prime. I mean, you're gonna watch. I think he is great. I do think he's great on both sides of the ball. You can't knock with what he's done. He's had a great college career. But when I look at him, I think there's a lot of need for people like him at receivers in the NFL. You have the Devontae Smiths, you have the Cooper Kupps, people like that can play the slot position. I think he would shine. I do at the next level playing that. Because the cornerback position to me is a hard position to play. I mean, you got to cover people that are insanely fast, and I would like to see him get a little bit bigger, like a muscle gain, and I think that happens a little bit the next level. But man, I got to go Genty, man. That dude is nuts, man. He's insane. Like we haven't seen a running back like that in a long time, and we won't see another Travis Hunter for a long time. Like I agree with both ways, but I just cannot get past what Genty has done. I mean, he's an insane running back. He's from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew about him until this year, and what that team has done is great. And you know what? I hope Travis does win it, because I'm gonna stick with what I've been saying. If he wins it, Genty is about to run through these teams in the playoffs, and I think they have a chance to go. I do, man. Like, he is that good.
Yeah.
So that brings me to my next question, my kind of follow up. Who do you got winning it all?
Texas.
Let's go, Derek. You're just outnumbered, dude.
How are you an Aggie fan and picking Texas, man?
It's not even that. It's just the way that they are. Like, I mean, they play all. They're great. Like,
they are good. I will agree. They're good.
Like, I know as an A&M fan, like, it's tough, but I got Texas winning.
I'm a Texas guy, obviously.
Mm.
The one thing that worries me is Quinn Ewers, man. I don't know what's up with him ever since the Georgia game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's still injured. He is their key factor today. The defense is going to be the defense.
Yeah.
If they run the ball and he can play like he did last week against A&M, they have a good shot to win, because depending on who wins this game in the seeding, they could meet Georgia again. And I don't want that to happen.
I think if they win and get the bye, I think they win it. I think Texas has a better shot than if they have to play first round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Derek, I'm telling you, man, you got to take that sweater off, man. It's time to put the burnt orange on, man, because
if I took this hoodie off, I'd put on a Texas State hoodie. I ain't never put on an orange hoodie.
Speaking of that, the Texas State stuff, me and Derek, we just bought tickets to go to the Independence Bowl, and it's projected for Texas State to be there. So we're projected. We'll find out tomorrow, but they're projected to play Army, and we're super excited about that. We're going to go watch that game and be there.
Cam Williams, we had on last night, going to UNLV. He said he's going to go. He said they always go to the game. Do you ever go to the Independence Bowl or Ben?
Actually, I went to the Independence Bowl last year. Yes, sir.
Oh, you did? Really? Okay.
With one of my friends. It was Cal and Texas Tech, I think.
Yes.
Last year.
Yes.
And so it was pretty fun. Yeah.
Going to be something maybe you do again this year, or
maybe it's just the fact. Last year, my friend, his grandpa got us tickets.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not sure. He might again. I'm not sure. But if he does,
man, if y'all go,
if you go, man,
we're going to be there.
Oh, we're going to be there.
So if you go, we'll definitely hit us up.
Was that your first? Well, was that your first collegiate game outside of? I mean, I know you've probably visited Texas State. I'm not sure if you had a chance to go to a game, but if you did or did not, was that your first big going to a game as a fan?
Oh yeah, yes sir.
How was that atmosphere? I mean, at a bowl game.
It was great. It was real cold out. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's what we're worried about. We're freaking, man, it's gonna be cold.
Yeah, it was cold, but it was fun. Yeah, it was fun for sure. Like just seeing everything as a fan, like not on the field or you know what I'm saying. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Were you like imagining yourself out there? Was that kind of the vibe?
Oh yeah, I was watching the D lineman every play.
You were like probably thinking like, "Hey man, he should have done this," or "Hey man, I would have done that." Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Right.
That's awesome, sir. Man.
Yes, sir.
But what was the biggest? Was it just the relationship with Kenny that really sold you on Texas State? Like it was just 100% him. Was he the one that recruited you, or was it someone on the defensive side?
Coach Kenny was really the one that recruited me.
That's awesome, man.
And so, because I've been going to their games for a long time, and yes, like beginning of sophomore. No, I said like the end of sophomore year, I would go into their game, and so, I was really just getting them invites from kind of everyone, if that makes sense. Like, like my defensive coordinator, my D-line coach. So it was kind of like all over the place. But then after Rice's head coach got fired, they were kind of more serious to me in a way, if that makes sense. Like they were serious, but they were kind of just sending me game day invites, and that's kind of it. But
are you going early?
No, sir.
You're gonna finish your season.
Yes,
are you gonna play baseball?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
You might have to come out there to catch a game in Tyler, man.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I wanted to finish because I've been playing baseball for my whole life.
So kind of going back
anything
to
on the baseball recruiting side?
No, not at all.
Let me ask this. This may be a little hot take. If anything popped up on the baseball side and it was maybe too hard to pass up, would you switch it, or would you stick with the Texas State? Say A&M comes calling for baseball.
Oh, that's pretty tough.
You know what I'm saying? Like A&M says, "Hey, Simeon, we need you. We need you starting as a freshman for us."
Ooh,
that's tough, man.
Because that's like that's two of my favorite sports. Like
that's what I'm saying. That I didn't know, and I kind of think I'm not speaking for you. I'm just saying in general in my head. I kind of think that's why some kids do go early, so they don't get that type of thing happen where, say you come out and you hit 70 home runs or something like that, and teams start looking at you, and that does kind of make you second guess, I guess would be the word I'm saying. But is it just always going to be football for you?
Yeah, I think it's always going to be football.
Yeah. Okay.
What position you play in baseball?
First base.
First base.
I'm about to say I was thinking first or third.
Yeah.
One of those two.
First base, and they tried me at outfield a little bit last year too, but
you didn't like it, did you?
Not really. No.
No.
Not at all.
What are you 6'3", 6'4"?
6'4".
Yeah, man. You can't be in the
that's
outfield.
That's a first base. Frank Thomas over there, first base, baby.
They were thinking like an Aaron Judge type guy. I was like,
you can't play out there in the outfield. That's boring, anyways.
Yeah,
the outfield is tough, but it's boring because
it's boring unless you have a bad pitcher. Then you get a lot of action.
Well, yeah, if you have a bad pitcher, you'll get a lot of action.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I mean,
yes, sir.
It's kind of cool because does it scare you in a way to play another sport, knowing what you have on the table right now? Now I know baseball injuries are as common. Like you see a lot of them with the pitchers, I would say more than your outfielders and stuff. But does it scare you at all playing another sport and I don't even want to say the word. I don't want to put no juju on you, but I'm just going to say, does it? Are you worried about that? Or you're just like, man, it's my senior year. It's baseball. I got to play.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that at all. Like, I've never gotten injured in baseball, which I don't want to say that. Dang.
I don't want to put that juju on you, man. I just had to ask that question because I mean, I think it's awesome you are staying and finishing your senior season out because I mean this is it. High school's over and a lot of people, a lot of athletes, and me and Derek can speak on that. Not that we were anything like you by any means, but just finishing.
Better. You're probably a better defensive end than I was. Considering I didn't play it, but we won't go to that.
Hey, I'll play defensive end, and
you're way better than Dustin. I didn't even see him play.
Nah. I would. My school was too small. I knew
you had 10 tackles in 2 quarters. You had 10 tackles in a season. So
no. I was a little bit better than that. Well, when I was playing both sides of the ball too, so I was always tired. I played center too, and I hated that.
Did you go to school here?
Yeah, I went to a little bitty school, and outside of Gilmer, it's called Union Hill. Very, very small school. They're 6A. They're 6-man now, but at the time we were 1A, which is now 2A.
I went to Diana.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
we're local. That's why it's kind of cool getting these local kids. We do have some kids that are a little farther out. We had one from Louisiana. We have one next Wednesday from Kentucky that found us through our page and wants to come on. But we're trying to get as many local kids as we can, which, like I told Dustin a while ago, I'm going to have to start branching out because everybody comes on here keeps picking Texas. And so I'm going to have to go to Oregon and Alabama. Alabama wouldn't even make the playoffs, and they'll say, Alabama's going to win it all. They ain't even in it. They don't even got a shot to win it. But they love their Tide, boy. Whew.
My second pick is definitely Oregon, though.
Oregon.
Okay, so Derek, I mean that's who you had to pick.
That's who I have. Yep.
Yeah.
So he's both sides.
Yeah. So we can probably have you on again now. But yeah, man. Once you get a baseball schedule, like I said, I got your number. Dustin's got your number. Shoot it to us. We'll come out to Tyler or Longview. I don't know if y'all play Longview.
Yes, sir. We do sometimes. Yes, sir.
Y'all do sometimes. Yeah. We'll definitely come catch a game and meet up with you and kind of face to face. And then freshman year of college. Once you kind of get that hit and run, we'd love to have you back on to talk about it, maybe the off-season program or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would love to. That'd be great.
Yeah, and while you're at it, when we do that, make sure Coach Kenny is with you.
Yeah, right.
Tell him your car broke down or something, and you need to ride real quick to here.
Tell him, say, I just need you for about 5 minutes. I think my battery's dead, and then bring him inside, and then he's here, and he can't leave at that point.
Right.
We're gonna trap him.
Then we're gonna go to jail. So let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. We appreciate your time. We
Yes,
appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you for reaching out. And we're going to keep up with you. Like Derek says, send us your baseball schedule when you know it, and we'll come out and catch a game and meet you face to face. And man, we look forward to talking to you again. And we have your number, so we'll keep up with you, ask you how things are going throughout the season. I won't bother you too much. I know you'll be super busy, and we're looking forward to hearing from you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me on.
Hey, thank you, man. We appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Later,
have
buddy.
a good one.
See y'all.
Great kid. Another great kid. I think he's going to be a stud.
Dude.
6'4". Like I said, he reminds me of Jason Pierre-Paul. Long, lanky.
I think he's at 210, 220. So
he'll get to about 235. He'll put about 15 pounds of weight on him.
Maybe I wouldn't even surprise if at the end he's about 240.
240.
He's gonna be a stud, man.
Yeah.
And Texas State has a great defensive end coming their way. Yeah, man. That's awesome, man. That kid is, man. It's a trend, and I'm loving it. And that's why I love doing this. Is the setbacks for all these guys with Max.
It seems like everybody. Cam last night.
Cam, Colton. I mean,
yeah.
The only one that didn't really have a setback and no juju is Jackson. He was fortunate enough to not have a major setback.
A major setback, yeah.
And with him, that's surprising because he played the quarterback position. They're always getting banged around,
especially him. He's a runner. They were a running type team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I love those stories, man. You really see with these young kids, and you can kind of tell their mindset and where they are just based off their story. And I want all these. I'm going to keep up with every single kid we have on.
Yeah, I've got my paper right here, all their names on it, and I'm where they're going. I've got everything wrote down. So it's going to be a lot of ESPN app next year, college football wise. Seeing where
I'm gonna have to put YouTube TV up on 2 different TVs to have 8 different games playing, so I can keep up with every one of these guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, man, that was great, man. Those 2 guys are great, man. I mean, Max being from a smaller school, and then you have Simeon going from a private small school to Tyler Legacy, you know, and what he had to go through and what both of them had to go through is just awesome, man. And I'm excited to see what they do at the next level. It would be Max's technically second year, but Simeon's first year. And
yeah,
we're going to have to get out there and catch a baseball game for sure.
For sure. I would definitely be down with that. Same with Colt. Maybe go try to catch a basketball game of his.
Yeah, basketball game.
I pulled their schedule up. I just don't know when he's going to be released. That's the thing we're waiting on his end.
Because basketball has started in high school. It started a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So they're getting into the mix of that. Then we got great games today.
Any change on any of your picks today? I know we were talking in the chat about the Oregon Penn State game.
I think I do want to make a switch. One game.
Taking Georgia?
Come on, man. No. I'm not knocking on Georgia, but I'm not changing that pick. And I'm going to tell you why. It has nothing to do with Georgia. It's hard enough to beat a team like Texas once, right? I'm not, and they played great. They won 30-15. It's even harder to beat them twice. Now, again, it's pretty much in
home game. Yeah,
it's a home game, right? But I'm not. That's not why I picked Texas. I just see this being a completely different game than the first one. If they play a third time, it'll be a completely different game. It's hard to get the same game. Now, I'm not saying somebody doesn't get blown out. I'm just saying I don't see the game being the same way it went. I expect to see the offense is better this game. last time it was defenses, and then
Yeah,
Texas just
because
got wore
Beck is
out.
playing really well right now.
He is playing well. But if I actually want to make one change, and I'm surprised I'm doing this, but it's kind of like the Penn State thing. It's like a gut feeling for me. I'm picking Clemson to beat SMU now. I'm making the switch. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the big game atmosphere. I don't know if it's I don't know, man. There's a feeling in me that tells me Clemson's going to win this game. A close game. I don't think it's a blowout. But I do think Clemson will win. And what that does is that I saw this yesterday. I'm going to go hypothetical. I'm sticking with my other picks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if that happens, that puts Texas at 1 now. Texas will be the number 1 seed. If Oregon loses today, if they lose, they will be the highest ranked team to win a conference game. So they go to 1.
Ooh, I don't see that. I think Penn State would jump them. But they would still have a ranking come out.
Yeah, they would.
And
But Penn State, I don't think Penn State would jump them just because they beat Oregon.
You don't think Penn State would jump Texas with 1 loss and they beat the number 1 team in the country?
Mm-mm.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Now, again, this is my opinion.
Yeah.
Because this is what makes the bracket just turn around. Then I would have Penn State at 2. Then what that does, that puts
it would put Oregon at 3.
Oh no, Oregon would get 3. They would be number.
Oh, they'd be 5.
They would be number 5, right?
Yeah.
They would be number 5. I think what that would do, that would move Arizona. That would move Arizona State to 3.
No, it'd move Arizona State to 4 because Boise's ranked ahead of them. Boise would be the 3 seed.
Yeah, Boise's 3. You're right, because Boise right now would be as of now the 4.
Yeah,
Boise State to 3, and then I would say Clemson would be the 4th seed, and then the question is, where do you put the Big 12 championship at that point?
They would be 5.
Or so Oregon would go to 6?
Oregon would have to be 6 because you'd have to have a champion in front of everything else.
That's correct. You're right. So that would change everything, right?
That would knock Bama out and put SMU in. I don't think SMU doesn't make it unless they get routed. Unless it's like 40-3.
But I don't know if they. Yeah. But see, I don't think that's going to be a rout game by any means.
No, absolutely not.
No, SMU is good. They're legit, man. I think people don't want to see them. That video I sent you yesterday. Do you remember that TikTok with Cam Newton?
Yes.
I disagree with everything he says.
Yeah.
They say they don't want to see SMU. They don't want to see Arizona State. They don't want to see Indiana. But why? My question to him, if I saw him in person, and I'm not a football god, he played the game. But I think that's just from a fan standpoint, they don't want to see those teams. But we have to consider the best football teams in college football. SMU is there. Arizona State is there. If they win, Indiana is there. I understand Indiana lost to Ohio State. Yes, listen, a 21-point loss is a blowout, but it's not. When I hear a blowout, I think 40-7. When I hear a blowout.
Yeah.
But Indiana deserves to be in there. He even said Boise State.
I'll bring this up all the time, and this is my whole take on the whole year. Indiana's 21-point loss to Iowa State was not as bad. I mean, to Ohio State was not as bad as the Ohio State loss to Michigan or the Notre Dame loss to a 3-point loss to Northern Illinois.
And then
I would rather lose by 21 to a top 5 team than to lose by 3 for a team that I don't even know if they're bowl eligible.
And then look at this way. Look at the Ohio State, Nebraska. Indiana blew out Nebraska by 50
Ohio
or 40.
State barely beat them.
Or Ohio State beat them by 4. So, that's why I just don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I understand every game is a different game. Anyone can win. We know that. But you have to look at how all the games went. Ohio State loses to Michigan. You can't say Indiana doesn't deserve it based off of one game.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they could lose their first game. But I think that those teams, Boise State, Arizona State, SMU. They all deserve Indiana. They deserve to be in if it plays out the way it should and they all get in. Just because people don't want to see them play doesn't mean they shouldn't be in. That's just a fan talking football. We're talking about the legit top 12 teams in the nation. According to the committee, they should be in.
Yeah, I agree.
We can't just base it off of that. And kind of update from last night, the Army won 35-14, and obviously Boise won 21-7. So, and Arkansas State won their championship game.
I've seen
as well.
Arkansas State won as well. Yeah.
They won as well. And there are a few. Hold on, let me have it right here. There are a couple other games we didn't talk about. Ohio plays Miami for the MAC championship today at 11. And then you got Marshall in Louisiana.
Give me the Raging Cajuns in that
Raging Cajun play the Sun Belt. That is at 6:30. So there's a couple extra games that we didn't talk about the other day. So, man, Marshall. Wow.
I'm taking the Raging Cajuns in that.
Yes,
I don't know why, but I don't know. I got
what
a feeling.
about the Miami and Ohio? Two teams, right?
Miami and the Ohio Bobcats.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Miami. Oh, Ben Roethlisberger's old stomping ground.
Okay.
Miami.
Miami's projected to win by 2, and Louisiana's projected to win by 5.
Okay, I didn't even know that. So ESPN's on the same page as me.
Yeah, I like both those teams. I do like what Marshall has done this year, but look, that Raging Cajun team is actually really good. One of their losses was to Tulane, and then they lost to Troy, and they kind of got stomped around on that one, 51-30. So that, and then you look at Marshall. They lost to Virginia Tech. It's not a bad loss. It's an ACC team.
ACC team, yeah.
They got beat by Ohio State. I mean, whatever. And they lost to Georgia and Southern by 1. So 2 of their losses against really big schools. So, but they pretty much – they even beat James Madison. And James Madison kind of fell off this year.
They fell off at the back end of the year, but they were good at the start. Because I believe – I'm not 100%, but I believe it was James Madison, Boise, and Tulane was the top 4 possibly. Because, James Madison would have made the playoffs last year, but they couldn't play in their conference championship game because it was their first year in. You have to be in the conference 2 years to make the thing.
Do you know who their quarterback was last year for JMU? Texas State quarterback, McLeod.
It sure was.
He transferred over to Texas State this year.
It sure was. Now that you say that, it sure was.
And speaking of the Miami, Ohio, and Ohio, they've already played each other this year. In Miami, Ohio won 30-20. That was about midseason. So this would be their second time playing. And they lost to Kentucky pretty bad, and then they lost to Syracuse, which Syracuse turned out.
Which 2 good teams.
Yeah, they played an SEC team and lost, and then they beat, they kept it somewhat competitive against Syracuse, but they on the back end Syracuse got it. But Syracuse turned out to be a great team. They beat Miami at the last game of the season.
Yeah.
So that was a and then the Miami, Ohio, they lost to Northwestern, Cincinnati. They played Notre Dame and lost. So Cincinnati, Notre Dame, big schools. Cincinnati, Big 12, and then you had they got beat by Toledo. But that's those 2 games, even though I know they're not the big conference games, but they're going to be good games.
Good games. Well. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll have both of those games up at 11. Watching those games because we got Iowa State, Arizona State first 30, big game
30 minutes.
Of the day.
Yeah,
30
I'm
minutes.
Putting it on 3 ABC games straight in a row, and I done told my wife I'm not getting off. I made homemade potato soup last night. We're gonna eat that for dinner. Yeah, well, that's lunch and dinner tonight, so I ain't got to cook. We're finna watch a lot of football.
Yeah, man. So everyone watching, we are a normal show tomorrow. We do have another guest. We'll just say he is from Pleasant Grove, and he is playing ball at the next level. Has not committed, so that's going to be that's going to be fun. Talking with him and might see if we can get a leeway out of him.
That's what I was thinking.
We're also going to see if when he does commit, if he's willing to come on here and commit on the show, and see if he's interested in that. And if you have nothing else, Derek,
No, great show. Good show.
Again, we thank Max and Simeon for coming on, and we'll keep up with those guys, and we'll keep y'all updated. We'll post stuff about them when we know. And we will see y'all tomorrow at what's
7.
tomorrow? 7. Tomorrow's the early one. We'll see y'all at 7 tomorrow night, and y'all have a good day and watch football. If you have nothing to do today, watch football because it's a lot of good games on, and are some good NFL games tomorrow that we'll talk about a little bit. Great games. Detroit played the other night. They beat the Packers.
Yeah, they
beat the Packers the other night. That was a good game.
That was a really good game. I love the call. Fourth down, and I loved it.
I mean, why do you not go for it? You're the best running back duo. I'm not sure what happened on the play. I didn't watch it, but I'm assuming they ran the ball. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't remember what happened. I have to go back and look. Well, but yeah,
that was a better game than I thought.
Yes, I thought it was going to be a blowout.
From the Packers side of it. We picked a blowout. And so maybe the Packers are better than what we thought. So, yeah, y'all have a good day, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right, man.